Alright, it's time for another Beyblade news discussion. The main thing for this month is Random Booster Volume 10. So let's just get into it. Our prize bay is UnicornDelta Peak Odd 360 Gear Unite. So the Unicorn lock chip, not something I really expected, at least not in a full bay. Would have thought this lock chip would exist maybe with like a reused blade or something, but it's its own bay. It looks cool. The overblade is Peak, which has this whole like one-sided thing going on. As for the metal blade, we have Delta, which is also kind of similar to that. And then Odd. This blade has a few holes on it. It's very weird looking. Odd is definitely the right word for it. Not sure how this one will perform with the blade, but it looks interesting. The ratchet's 360, not really a big fan of this. Would have been cool if they did a one-sided ratchet here, but I can understand 3. I think 350 would have been a good option here. But 360 is just such an old part. Like, I really wish we could stop getting 360 or any other day one parts as often as we do. For the combo though, it's okay, I guess. And for the bit, we have Gear Unite. So Gear Unite, not really looking forward to this. Gear bits tend to be kind of bad, or at least worse than like their usual counterparts. I don't imagine Gear Unite's gonna be like some kind of crazy exception to this. I just expect it to be like worse Unite. We'll have to wait and see though. Maybe it's better than anyone's expecting, but I wouldn't have my hopes up for it. Also, for Unicorn Delta, the main blade has its own kind of gimmick to it. It's basically just an orientation gimmick. How are you putting the overblade on the metal blade? Depending on how you do it, it has a different mode. I feel like we should have had an orientation gimmick like this quite a while ago with assist blades, but better late than never, I guess. So here's that. Moving on to the other combos here, we have Unicorn Delta Peak Odd 180 Gear Rush. Same exact blade, which is interesting. There's only 2 CX blades here, so I guess you have to do what you gotta do, but weird that the entire blade, all 4 parts, are just in the same pull. That's fine, I guess. At least it's a reprint of everything. 180, having a one-side ratchet in here is good, but I think 170 would have been a far better choice, or even 160 or 150. 180 is by far the worst one-sided ratchet to pick. Very unfortunate. And then Gear Rush, not great, but like, have we gotten a reprint of this? If we have, there haven't been many, so sure. Then we have a couple of UX bays, the first one being a SamuraiSaber 965 Low Orb. SamuraiSaber getting a reprint in like a regular mainline product hasn't been done before, I don't think. So that's a decent choice, I would say. 965, I'm not big on simple ratchets, but we haven't had many 965s, so I'll give it a pass. And then Low Orb's decent, so that's fine. This is a fine pull. But our other UX bay is HellsHammer 385 Gear Unite. HellsHammer has had a shockingly low amount of reprints. I feel like its time has kind of passed, but it's not the worst thing to get. Another Gear Unite makes sense, and then 385 Y. They really like reprinting single ratchets, and they really like to reprint 385 in particular, feels like, which is very unfortunate. It's not a good ratchet at all. Can we not get these anymore? Like, this just sucks. We also have 2 BX bays for whatever reason. First up, TyrannoBeat 360 Needle. Horrible. Like, actually horrible. If this was like a year ago, maybe TyrannoBeat would be a good choice, but now, just unnecessary. I get having another 360, but the fact that we have 2 360s in here just feels bad. It's such an old part, we don't really need more of them. Again, I understand why there's 2, just wish it wasn't 360. And then Needle. Needle in the year 2026 in a mainline product as one of our 6 bit slots in a random booster. Now what's worse is that there's actually 3 Gear Unite pulls, so we only had room for 3 reprints, and you're using one of those 3 slots on Needle. Like, if it was under Needle, I'd be okay with it, but regular Needle, why? And then the last bay here is CrimsonGaruda 780 Gear Unite. CrimsonGaruda, I think, probably needed a reprint, so fair enough. 780, same problem as with 180. If it was 760, that'd be fine. 770 is okay too, but 780, not great. Too many tall ratchets in this random booster, really. And then another Gear Unite pull, which, fair enough. But yeah, this random booster, in my opinion, not good. I think Unicorn Delta is looking pretty solid. We'll be getting that probably next month. At least we finally have some kind of orientation gimmick, so hopefully that's cool. Parts are questionable. Gear Unite, not great, I don't think. 360 is kind of weird, but Blade's kind of cool. As for the other blades, though, I kind of wish they would have split up Unicorn Delta's parts across 2 different CX bays. That could have been nice. But just keeping it to 1, I guess, is fine too. I think between SamuraiSaber, HellsHammer, and CrimsonGaruda, we could have kept 2 of these, but I think one of them should have been swapped out for a better choice here. I don't think we need all 3. And then TyrannoBeat, yeah, throw that away, give us something else. So I think we should have 2 other better blades in here in some fashion. Ratchet lineup's just rough. 360, a day 1 part, is in here twice. We have 2 ratchets that could have been good, but they're 80 height. And then 2 simple ratchets that we just don't really need. Again, I'll give 965 a pass, but not 385. The bit lineup's a bit weird because Gear Unite's a new part, but I don't think it'll be very good. And then for the other 3 parts, like a Low Orb, that's good. Gearish is fine because I don't think it's had many reprints. And then Needle. Yeah, it's not great. It's just kind of a mid-random booster. Not the worst one we've had, but certainly not the best. Aside from the random booster, we do have a couple like special releases that we got. First up, SamuraiSaber 560 Kick. This is a special starter here, so it's going to be released in May with JFA stores. It's some kind of like sports collab. It looks really, really cool actually. I want to get this one. One important note is that apparently it's going to be in JFA stores through June, and then in June it will become more accessible to like any B4 store as well. So it should actually be pretty accessible by June, so if you're interested in this thing and it's expensive when it comes out in May, give it a month or so, it should probably come down in price. Personally, I do plan on getting this. It looks really, really cool. I like the metal coat on this thing. I think it just has a good color scheme overall. SamuraiSaber is just a good choice. 560 is kind of whatever, but Kick is fine. Very cool looking starter. Again, I do plan on getting this one. And as per usual, around this time of year, we are getting a new G3 prize, that being RagnaRage. So if you come in third, you get a golden 455, second gets a golden yielding, and then first gets the entire RagnaRage blade. So golden plastic Ragna, Flow, and Erase, and then a gold painted metal blade for Rage. Pretty cool. Probably won't get this because these tend to be fairly expensive. I got the gold knight shield, but I don't think I'm getting any of the others, to be honest. Looks nice for anyone who wants to get it though. But yeah, that's really all we have for this month. Not really the most interesting month. Usually in April we also get the May release, but we've already known about that for a long time. So I guess without that it does feel a little bit lackluster, but still a decent month I would say. At least we got a couple like special releases to supplement that. But yeah, next month we finally get some new stuff. We've kind of been on like the same overarching release pattern for a while now, really since like February, because we're still waiting on Bullet Griffin and Drawn Strike. We've known about them for a long time now. But next month we'll be starting with a fresh slate. The June base should be something entirely new that we don't know anything about, so I guess that's something to look forward to. But anyway, that's all for this video, so thanks for watching, and bye.